I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank the Midwest and its terrible fucking weather for making one of my videos look like shit again. Thanks!
God damn it, babies, you've gotta be kind.
Today we'll be talking about Slapstick by Vonnegut. Generally I try to review books in the order in which I read them, but this sucker got moved up the queue because I have a lot of feelings about it. First of all, how is this only the second Vonnegut that I've ever read? I'm always like, oh yeah, I love Vonnegut, but like before this, I read Breakfast of Champions when I was like 18 or 19, and then I read a couple of his short stories last year, and did not read any more Vonnegut. I do this all the time. I will read a book by an author and love it, and then never read anything by that author ever again. I have done this with F. Scott Fitzgerald, Neil Gaiman, Nick Hornby, Sarah Waters. I don't know, it's probably just my desire to read all of the things, and my brain is just like, I know I like Vonnegut, so Vonnegut is always going to be there. But do I love Wilkie Collins? I don't know. I haven't read him yet. What if I love Wilkie Collins and I just don't know? So yes, more Vonnegut in the future, and a whole lot of other authors, apparently. That should be my reading resolution for 2014. Read second books by authors that I've liked. But enough about how I'm a completely ridiculous person. What is Slapstick about? Vonnegut himself says in the prologue, it is about desolated cities and spiritual cannibalism and incest and loneliness and loveliness and death and so on, which does describe it pretty succinctly, but let's talk about the actual plot. Slapstick is the story of Dr. Wilbur Daffodil 11 Swain, the former last president of the United States and the current king of Manhattan. The apocalypse has happened, so Manhattan has kind of crumbled to the ground, and there aren't a lot of people to rule over, but hey, king! And this novel is presented as his memoir, so you're reading his account of his life, starting from his childhood with his twin sister, all the way up through the apocalypse, and till now. The thing I really like about Vonnegut's plots is that they're very weird, but I don't really think about how weird they are until I'm called upon to describe them, because in text, they're presented in such an understated and matter-of-fact sort of way. So I'm reading along, and I'm just like, yeah, King of Manhattan. It's the apocalypse. His middle name is Daffodil 11. All very reasonable. So the thing that I love about this novel is that it's very much about the parts of ourselves that are dark and weird and often very ugly, but it still manages to take this like beautiful humanist view of the world. Like, I love the fact that in this book, the apocalypse comes about not because people are terrible, but because we're just kind of ridiculous, and the world is an absurd place. Like, there's just such a kindness to this book. Like, okay, take Swain's presidential campaign. His entire platform is this idea that he and his twin sister had when they were children of assigning every person in the United States a new middle name and using those to create a series of secondary families. Basically, you would get assigned a name like Uranium 3 or Peanut 4 or Daffodil 11, and everyone who had the same word in their middle name as you would be a part of your family. And it's a completely ridiculous idea, and I doubt anyone would actually go for it, and even if they did, I doubt that it could actually work out the way it was intended. But I still can't help but think it's so sweet. I just think the idea of giving people this sense of connectedness and a second chance at a family is just really lovely. So yes, I love Slapstick and I recommend it. I don't think that Vonnegut is for everybody. In fact, I think the world may be divided into people who pick up one of his novels and immediately go, oh man, this guy gets me, and people who pick up one and go, yeah? But I also think the only way to figure out into which of those two groups you fall is to read one of his books. So go ahead and give Vonnegut a shot if you haven't yet. Alright, that is it for me. Let's talk about Vonnegut down in the comments, and I will see you soon. Bye.